So last night I saw Thunderbolts, and as a Marvel fan, a lifelong Marvel fan, from the beginning days of the MCU, I'm very, very happy. There's so much I want to talk about with this movie. We're going to be going into full spoilers with this breakdown and review. So if you haven't seen the movie yet, please just save this video, see the movie, come back to it, and then watch, because we're going to talk about all of the crazy things that were revealed and all the things that happened and what sets up the next big movie in the MCU. Before we get too far into this, we're on the road to 3,000 subs. If you guys are new to this channel, I would love to have you here. Hit that subscribe button. It's free. And let's see if we can get this video to 100 likes. Also, right now, as I'm speaking, leave your comments down below with what you thought about Thunderbolts, because I've got to know what you guys think. Okay, let's talk about Thunderbolts. This movie was honestly so different than what I thought it was going to be. Originally, I thought it was just going to be Marvel's answer to Suicide Squad, where we have a bunch of villains coming together who have to do a task for the good guys, but that's not really what this is at all. This movie, while it has some veins of Guardians of the Galaxy, is not like that either. Yes, we have these outcast characters who aren't technically heroes but want to better themselves, and all of them are struggling. This movie takes a massive swing and tackles mental health, most notably with Yelena and her struggles with depression and other things. I think that this was the perfect choice for this movie for multiple reasons. Most importantly, we don't really have a lot of experience with some of these characters. A lot of them were just reintroduced or introduced into the MCU during the post-Infinity Saga Phase 4 multiverse stuff. But now we've had a couple projects where they've appeared, and now they get to really shine and allowing them to struggle like normal everyday people and talk about their struggles, their mental health. It's just really nice because we get to relate to them and connect with them more. In complete honesty, if you would have told me 2 years ago that this would be one of my most anticipated and most excited and best Marvel movies, I would have called you crazy. But I'm so happy to report that this movie is one that I'm going to be rewatching in the theaters multiple times, and also after it comes to streaming or DVD. It's so fun. It's very fast paced. I think that's the one qualm I maybe have with this movie, is that it did feel really quick and I just wanted more, but it gets the job done. The main plot of the movie is Val is being impeached by the government, and she has to get rid of all of her evidence so she can stay in her position of power. She hires the Thunderbolts to take out one another and also get rid of all of the evidence by blowing them all up in the home of Sentry. Sentry was a government project where they tried to create their own perfect superhero, and it didn't work. At least they thought it didn't work, but there was someone who survived an unstable test subject named Bob. Bob was never meant to be the perfect superhero. He was just a test subject, but it worked on him. The only problem is he has a lot of mental issues. He quite literally has a darker half. This emptiness that he feels inside mentally is the Void. The Void is so interesting because it's the main villain of the movie, but it's not necessarily just one character. You feel the Void trapping everybody, and it's more of a metaphorical thing. It's just that with Bob's new powers that he got, the Void manifests itself in a physical form and traumatizes people. And I have to say, Lewis Pullman absolutely nails it in this role as this innocent kind of guy you feel bad for, but also not sure how dangerous he is. I loved his performance, and on the other side, we have Yelena, played by Florence Pugh. She gives the best performance in this movie, in my opinion, and not only that, but her chemistry with Sentry was on another level. You have Yelena, who's trying to search for a purpose in life. This is really, really dark stuff, and you have him tell her that the one way forward is to be a hero and save others. That's when you're the most fulfilled. And you have Yelena, who doesn't have any superpowers, being the one to save the most powerful superhero currently in Sentry. He's got the power of all the Avengers, including the gods. All that's to say is I really just loved what they did with Yelena and Sentry. I knew Red Guardian was going to be more of a comedic relief in this movie, and he definitely was, but he also has some really heartfelt moments. There's a point after they lose to the Void where Yelena and Red Guardian have this heart-to-heart father-daughter talk, and it was powerful. Yelena breaks down in tears, and it just felt so real. To take this a step further, you also have John Walker, who gets a lot more character depth. Yes, he's still the know-it-all kind of America first kind of guy, but he has a lot of struggles that he's pushed deep down that we actually get to witness here. He lost his wife and she took his son. He wasn't a great father or husband, and he's trying to make up for it now. We also have Ghost, who makes a really fun return. I would have liked a little bit more time with her character, maybe seeing more of her internal struggles. we know what she's been through, but it was also just great to see her in action because she has some of the best action sequences. And honestly, I think the action is another thing that I was so pleased with. There's not too much of it, but when there is action, it's really good. And yes, as we predicted, spoiler alert, Taskmaster does not make it very far. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if there's less than 2 minutes where she's introduced into where she dies. I mean, it's kind of what we expected, right? But I like how they twisted it and brought it into the plot by saying we're all just people who kill people and end up getting killed. It's all gonna happen to us one day because there's nothing else to life. This movie is all about searching for the purpose in life, finding that will to live, and it's often found in the company of others. Not being alone, being with somebody else, sharing struggles, that's what makes people whole. And it was really well done considering we know all of the things that these characters have been through. The interesting thing to me was there's not really a huge resolution. Of course, the Thunderbolts end up winning by turning Sentry back into his normal self, fighting within his own head, and I loved that dream void sequence. I thought that was fantastic. But the struggle in this movie is not as external as it is internal. It's such a different change of pace and I loved it. And also, before I go too deep into like the MCU connections and stuff, I want to say how great it was to see Bucky back in action. There's a scene where he goes full Terminator, full Winter Soldier, and the whole crowd was just loving it. It feels so great to have Bucky back, and now that he's officially on this team kind of leading them, it makes me really excited for the future. So let's talk about how it ends. The Thunderbolts turn Sentry back into his real self, removing the void, but that also prevents him from being Sentry himself. He's just a normal guy right now on the team. He doesn't have any powers because if he uses the good powers, the bad stuff comes with it. I think this is going to play a big role in Doomsday, to be honest with you, considering how powerful the Void is and how powerful Sentry could be against Doctor Doom or other variants of heroes. I'm also really looking forward to the possible romantic relationship between Yelena and Sentry. I think that's going to be great. I know I said the main villain is kind of the Void, but the real physical villain is clearly Valentina. We get a lot of time with her in this movie. She's the one who bought Avengers Tower and has turned it into the Watchtower. There's a lot of things going on here. Val always has tricks up her sleeve, and she does that all the way up until the end where she spins it saying that the Thunderbolts were actually her idea and she created that in order to bring forward the new Avengers. And finally, we understand what that asterisk means in the title because the actual reveal is that they are the new Avengers. Even the title card as the movie ends fades the Thunderbolts away, rips through it, and shows the new Avengers with a new logo and everything. And again, if you would have told me a couple years ago that the new Avengers would be this team, I would have called you crazy. But now that I've seen this movie and loved the character work that they did, I'm on board fully. So where does this leave us? What's going on right now? There's a crazy post-credit scene that's super exciting that I'm going to make a video on, but this is our main group of Avengers moving forward until Avengers Doomsday. You'll say, where's Captain America? Where's Spider-Man? Where's Hulk? Well, I'm going to talk about that in the post-credit scene video because it reveals a lot. Overall, I just had such an amazing time with this movie. I know we always say, ooh, Marvel is back, but it truly feels like we're fully back in the sense that we don't even have to say it anymore. It's just such a good feeling being back in this place with Marvel. The recent TV shows and movies have been fantastic, no pun intended, considering what the next movie coming out is. And yeah, honestly, if Doomsday sticks the landing, this is going to be a great little period for Marvel. This movie was really fun. It had so much heart. It also had so much darkness and depth to it. The action was there. The acting was there. I don't know what else you could really ask for. Again, we're going to be talking about the post-credit scene and how this connects to Avengers Doomsday in another video that's coming out right after this. So guys, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and I will see you all very, very soon.